We absolutely crushed UFC Paris in the tune of $133,000 in community betting tickets. Let's go ahead and take that success, and we're going to ride that into UFC 293. My name is Angelo. This is We Want Picks, and I'm going to break down the entire UFC 293 fight card, giving you my picks, my predictions, and my bets. But before I do, let's look at that success. That was UFC Paris. I'm up money. Jacob's up money. We had the best DraftKings ownership projections in the game. And my premium member safety parlay hit again. If you don't know what the safety parlay is or premium membership, we have a full service on our website that has everything you could ever need to make money while watching these fights. It's only $10 a month. And one of those features is the safety parlay. It's a parlay I put out every single week. Sometimes it's 2 legs, sometimes it's 3 legs. And it's pretty safe. That's the whole point of it. Obviously, this is MMA and anything can happen, but it is hitting at a 70% clip. What I have here on the right is my ROI. The reason I wanted to show this is because I don't bet that much. I'm a very conservative gambler. I bet about $100. That's a unit, $100 per unit. And then I do anywhere from $300 to $600 a week out. And then whatever comes back, right? You're going to see people, I'm up 11 units. Well, you spent 200 units and your unit's only $10. So here's your transparency. This weekend, UFC Paris, I spent $425. I got $732 back off of my bets, and that's an ROI of 72%. I'm the conservative guy on this channel. Jacob, the other guy, he's the wild one, and you can sort of mix and match to find the style that's best for you. But I wasn't the only one that had success. So did our premium members. We were sent over $133,000 in winning tickets, and all of them with love and context. ND said Angelo's safety parlay and my hammer were on the same page this week. Solid play. My one, not yours, whatever that username is, says I'm up $2,500 the last 3 weeks because I watched the analyst, I watched the videos, I talk a lot of stuff in Discord, but so much love. Premium is worth it. B Nasty hit a $51,000 DraftKings entry, and he said, I can't believe they even allow you guys to offer us these tools. I literally did my lineup this morning. I picked 3. I let your optimizer build the rest. Thank you guys. I'll be there Tuesday to show support. What he's talking about is that $10 premium membership includes DraftKings tools that will build lineups for you. And he used one and he just won $51,000. And the tickets continue. Obviously, $133,000 in winnings. Octagon Observer said, this is my first card as a premium member. Thanks for all the hard work. Drewski said, Jacob, Angelo, I owe you $1,500. Thanks for everything. Prominent says, MFers, I'm making money. Yes, even if it's $200 profit, that's 20 months of premium membership. The context is here. The community is here. It's only $10 a month. And the reality is it is the greatest value in this space, period, end of story. Because it's not just, oh, here's my bets, copy them and you'll get rich. That's a terrible business model. And anybody selling just their bets through a Patreon or through something else, that's bullshit. It's just bullshit. What we give you is we have the teach a man to fish model. Yes, you're going to get our bets. We're going to show you where we're spending our money. We're going to show you all of our bets and what we're going to do. But we're also going to give you tools and insight, like the best DraftKings ownership in the game. A lot of you don't know what DraftKings fantasy is, and every week, what are those numbers? What does this all mean? Well, if you're a premium member, click on more in the menu, click on courses, and there's a whole course there walking you through exactly what DraftKings projections are for, walking you through exactly what DraftKings fantasy is and how you can play that, how you can make some money, how you can have some fun. Premium membership is also going to get you the line movement tracker. This is going to give you the opening odds, the current odds, the win probability, and the line movement for every single fighter on every single card. For UFC 293, only one fighter opened as a favorite and will close as an underdog. That is surprising, but we do have 5 fighters with 20% line movement or more. So a lot of money coming in and stretching or tightening some of these lines. You're also going to get the DraftKings Optimizer. This was the shout out from the $51,000 entry. This builds lineups for you. You click a few buttons, you click generate. Here's your DraftKings lineup. Go enter it. Good luck. And it's obviously working for a lot of people. You're also going to get detailed data, metrics, and analytics. So again, you're going to get the copy-paste bets if that's what you want. You're also going to get tools. You're going to get insight. You're going to get information, and it is all going to be ready for you, displayed on the website, ready to go. It is only $10 a month to unlock. We don't have tiers. It's not, oh, $5 for this and then another $20. No, there's no tiers. There's no nonsense. It's $10 a month for every single thing that we do. And there's not enough time in the day for me to walk through everything that's included. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top to unlock premium. I can promise you it has everything you have ever needed. We started a P.O. box. We got a P.O. box. We've been having a lot of people. Hey, I want to send you this. Oh, I made this cool shirt. I have this. I have that. I have a small business. Can you wear my shirt on your stream or whatever it is? So I was not going to give people my home address because the internet's weird. So we got a P.O. box. Send us some stuff. We'll open it during the Fight Foods vlog. If you don't know, every single pay-per-view, I film the day, just what I'm doing with the day. Sometimes it's just hanging out with the kids. Sometimes it's cooking some extravagant meal for Jacob and the rest of my friends to come over and watch fights. Either way, they're usually a ton of fun, and we will open these up surprise style and hoping there's not a head or a cut off body part in there. Here's the box. You want to mail something? Mail it. And we have introduced more analysts. So if you only watch this video, you think it's just me. It's not just me. We also have Jacob, who does the Tuesday night live streams with me. And then we have reached out to the community. We have identified people that we say, these guys do some great content. They've got great insight. They've got great bets. We have Artem. We have the Pick Doctor, who's developing an AI. The AI is picking fights as well. And we just announced, we just brought on Running Mouth MMA. These guys, A, their show is hilarious. Go subscribe. B, they've got some really sharp bets and some really sharp picks. The premium membership we talk about, the $10 a month, it includes everybody. Me, Jacob, Artem, the Pick Doctor, and Running Mouth. 5 different sets of insight, picks, analysis, and bets. If you want to use promo code MOUTH, they'll get paid. So go ahead and show them some support. Guys, finally, that's the end of the promo for the premium. Let me send you $50. Let's transition to me giving you something. If you go to WeWantPicks.com/bets, and if you sign up with any one of our betting partners using our link, I send you $50 as a thank you. It's affiliate marketing, right? You're going to use the link. It's going to register to our account. You're going to make a deposit. Then whichever partner it is going to say, hey, Angelo, you have this many new money, signups. Here's some money. And I'm going to take that money. I'm going to break off $50 of it, and I'm going to give it to each and every one of you. And that's very real money from my bank account to yours. It's not like a deposit match. It's not a credit. It's not Angelo bucks. It's money. Actual money, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, however you want it. WeWantPicks.com/bets. You got to use the link. You got to make the deposit. And I will send you that very, very free money. Let's go ahead and break down this card. First of all, I do all these graphics. We have humbly the best graphics in the game. I mean, look at this. You're going to get height, reach, stance, strikes landed, striking accuracy. You're going to get every stat you could ever want while looking at this graphic. I tried to, that background is a bunch of kangaroos in a field. They're in Australia. You can't see it though. It's blocked. The Tuesday stream, that'll be a little different. We have a second graphic for the Tuesday stream with the odds and stuff, but just know that there's kangaroos back there. The last thing you should know is I'm not pitting out. There's a shadow. See, it's a shadow. The light's coming from, so don't think that I'm pitting out my shirt at 7 o'clock in the morning. Like, I could lose a few pounds, but I'm not sweating profusely before 8 a.m. Let's break down this card. Opening up, UFC 293, we have Kevin Jousset taking on Kiefer Crosbie. This feels like a fight that should have been on UFC Paris. Kevin Jousset is a stocky striker. He likes to plot forward. He's got low hands, but he does have some volume. When he finally does close that distance, he likes to work you to the cage for control and then sneak in a takedown or two. He is insanely patient in everything he does, which translates to boring. His takedowns are slow, his striking is slow, but he is big for this weight class, and he's very strong, and he knows how to use that size advantage. He's taking on Kiefer Crosbie. This kid's an aggressive striker who comes forward, and he lets his hands go. He sets a nice pace early, and he will make adjustments in the middle of the fight. He's got great power, but he does get wild. Considering he has a lot of striking experience, his defense is actually very disappointing, but his offense is definitely something you need to worry about. He's not a grappler by trade, but he will work in a takedown when he needs to, and he can hang in the grappling department. Kevin's hard to pick here because he's low volume. He gets hit. He doesn't do much other than just try to be a weight bully. If you don't really know that term, that just means he's just using his size. He just wants to big brother you and push you around. But Kiefer also gets hit far too much, and he does fade quickly. I'm still going to pick Kiefer here because the pace he sets early is insane. And if he comes out hot, throwing hard, he could potentially get this done quickly. But if this fight lingers, Kiefer's going to slow down. Kevin's going to win a boring decision. He's just going to plot forward, push, be a bully. So Kiefer, Crosbie is the pick, but like very low confidence. I wouldn't do anything with that. If we've learned anything about these French fighters, like Kevin, they've all got the same style. Like they all strike the same way. They're all low volume. They all take their time, but they are technically sound. And if Kiefer comes in too reckless, he's going to get beat by the more technical guy. But Kiefer's going to be the pick because he's dangerous, and I know he's going to come forward where Kevin's just going to dance around and try to use. I mean, look at him. He's 6'2" at welterweight, 170 pounds, 6'2", and he's not like lanky. This guy's thick. So expect him to be the bigger, stronger guy. Expect Kiefer, Crosbie to be the more dangerous guy. I'm going to pick Kiefer. Kevin's probably the smarter pick, but I'm going the other way. Then we got Shane Jung taking on Gabriel Fly Miranda. Shane Jung's a solid striker. He is out of that city kickboxing gym with Izzy and the rest of that crew. He likes to work forward with his jab. He wants to manage range and then control the center. He's constantly pumping that jab out there. And as soon as he has his opportunity, he's going to string together combinations. He's more of a volume guy than a raw power guy, but he can definitely put you away. He's coming off that loss to Blake Builder where his striking looked stiff, honestly, and he had nothing to offer off his back. But if you remember, that was a return to the cage after a 2-year layoff. He's taking on Gabriel Fly Miranda. This guy's a slick grappler. He's got nice takedowns. He is very much an old school BJJ guy, so he's going to work from position to position and look for submissions instead of just pounding away on top. The problem is that he can be submission or bust. And as good as he is, he's so comfortable at BJJ. He's totally fine if he gets the takedown and then he gets swept and now all of a sudden he's fighting off his back. None of that bothers him, but obviously he can give up minutes in the fight. He's coming off that stoppage loss to Benoit Saint Denis where he came out guns blazing. He had big shots. He did try to shoot some takedowns, but he faded pretty quickly. And this is another tricky fight to pick because this is an old school striker versus grappler matchup. Shane Jung is the striker, but he did look stiff in his last fight. Gabriel is the grappler, but he gets way too tired to work in takedowns after the first round. Shane looked clueless off of his back in his last fight, but he also defended 6 times, 6 takedown attempts before he finally gave one up. The pick is going to be Shane, only because I do trust his cardio, and I think the takedown defense should be there. But the ground gap is the ground gap is big. If Gabriel somehow gets this to the ground, he will have some very, very real success. Then we got Blood Diamond. His real name is Mike Mathetha. Sounds like I have a lisp when I don't. But he's Blood Diamond. He might have legally changed it because even the UFC calls him Blood Diamond. Like, he's the only fighter I can think of that they just are all in on the nickname and don't even attempt to use the real name. But anyway, we got Blood Diamond taking on Charlie Radtke. Blood Diamond, again, his real name is Mike Mathetha, every time I say it, it sounds like I have a lisp. And already the community thinks I have a lisp. So they're really just working against. We're calling him Diamond. They're Blood Diamond from here on out. Blood Diamond is a very experienced striker. He's got over 100 professional kickboxing matches before he transitioned into MMA. He's coming out of that city kickboxing gym with Izzy, Ulberg, and Shane Jung and the people that are going to load this card up. So he is getting proper MMA training. He is 0-2 in the UFC. He was taken down in both of those fights, but he was also able to defend 4 of Jeremiah Wells' takedowns and 5 of Orion Kose's. He's absolutely a striker. You're going to look at his record if you do your own research. You're going to see a submission win in here, but he didn't take anybody down. That is insanely misleading. If you watch the fight, he was thrown. Like, he got thrown. His opponent threw him, and then by the grace of God, he just landed in a rear naked choke and then won by submission. So by no means, do not look at Blood Diamond's record and say, oh, he's not well-rounded striker. He's taking on Charlie Radtke. This guy is a grappler, an athletic grappler. He lowers his level, he takes his shots, and then he immediately works for positions. He's controlled on the ground. He is also dangerous. He hunts for submissions, and he transitions well between them, but he does pull guillotines, and he'll chase other submissions that sort of take him out of a position. He tends to slow as the fight goes on, and he can be very hittable, but he throws with power, and he is very tough. I saw the odds on this fight. Charlie Radtke is a big favorite. I saw the odds on this fight, and then I started watching tape. Normally, I do it the other way. Normally, I break everything down, and then I look at the odds. But sometimes with these UFC debuts, as I'm doing, trying to find tape, I'll see the odds. So I saw the odds for Charlie. Big favorite. I saw some early takedowns while watching the tape, and I was like, oh, this guy's a lock. Blood Diamond screwed. And then I saw the fights that got into the second round. And this dude's breathing heavy. His face is getting lit up. Yes, he's still coming forward, but he's getting hit by random guys on the regional scene. And then if he's going to get hit by Blood Diamond in this fight, those are not the same thing. Charlie is a dangerous grappler. Blood Diamond is a very dangerous striker. So this is just straight up, this entire fight comes down to, can Blood Diamond defend takedowns? And if he can, well, easy breezy, right? Peasy, breezy, whatever it is, easy. These odds are way too wide for a UFC debut with questionable cardio. I'm going to shoot my shot here on Blood Diamond. Right now, he's a 2-1 underdog as a straight money line. I imagine the KO prop is going to be even better. So I'm going to wait for all these prop bets to drop, and I might find something there for Blood Diamond. If he continues to be a bigger dog, one of the best bets we might find, blets. I do have a freaking list. What I may be able to do when the prop bets drop, they have that win inside the distance, decision, no action. If we think Blood Diamond can survive and not be submitted, which I think he should be able to, but there is an upside for a knockout, we might be able to get that at plus money. So if Blood Diamond knocks out Charlie, we'll get paid. If he loses a decision, we just ragdolled and held down the whole time, we get a full refund on that bet. Prop bets usually drop on Tuesdays. When those drop, maybe Monday for a pay-per-view, I'll take a look. If it's plus money, I may hammer that. And make sure if you are a premium member, go to your account page, click the link Discord button. And then what that'll do is when we place these bets, you will get an alert on your phone through the Discord. So the prop bets drop. Oh, Angelo did this. Yeah, I like that. Let me grab it. Or let me leave it alone. Put your phone back down or continue playing Angry Birds on the toilet. Either way, you get to see it when it happens so you can beat any line movement. If you're not a premium member, I don't know what else I need to tell you. It's the greatest membership in the history of this space. It's only $10 a month, and you could ask anybody in our community how well it is, how well they're doing, and everything it offers. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. Then we have Nasrat Haqparast, who's pretty early in a fight card. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe some of the hype is fading around him, but this was more of a featured prelim, a pay-per-view main card kind of guy. And now he's, 4 fights into an undercard on a mediocre pay-per-view. But anyway, we got Nasrat Haqparast taking on Landon Quinones. Nasrat Haqparast is a very good striker. He's a high-volume guy. He lands more than 5 significant strikes per minute with a very good 78% takedown defense. When he can push the pace and find a rhythm, this guy is very hard to beat. He just broke a 2-fight skid with a decision win over John Makdessi, where he actually worked in some offensive takedowns and a knockdown. He's taking on Landon Quinones. Anytime I say Quinones, it reminds me of the What Would You Do guy. They do crazy shit. Like they like let somebody try to kidnap a kid. And are you going to say anything? Or are you just going to sit there and finish your car? Anyway, we got Landon Quinones. He's coming off the Ultimate Fighter and is being immediately thrown into deep water. Style-wise, he's a decent striker, but he is a slick grappler as well. He will probably categorize himself as a striker, but he can be a slow starter and take a while to gauge that rhythm. But what he does do well is work in takedowns. He will lower his level and shoot clean shots. They're not desperate. They're usually there and, they're going to be set up well, and they're usually going to result with some top-heavy pressure after he gets a takedown. He is a well-rounded guy. Do you see my freaking kid right here? He is a well-rounded guy. He can definitely have some success in the UFC. This is a weird matchup. I don't know if the UFC thinks, I don't know if they're trying to punish Landon or try to give Nasrat a bone here. Landon is very good, but this is definitely too much too soon. Nasrat should be the better striker. Definitely have the takedown defense needed to defend. So Nasrat's going to be the pick here, but if Landon comes out very wrestle heavy, he could steal this fight the same way that Dan Hooker did when he fought Nasrat. Nothing like a Sunday morning at my house to try to film a video while the animals are out of their cages. Next up at UFC 293, we have Jamie Mullarkey taking on. See, it's not a lisp. I'm not like, it's like my tongue's too big for my mouth. I talk too fast. It's something, but it's not a lisp. We have Jamie Mullarkey taking on John Makdessi. Jamie Mullarkey, this guy's pretty well-rounded. He's got no eyebrows, but he is a well-rounded guy. He can wrestle. He averages almost 3 takedowns per fight. He can strike with 2 knockout wins in the UFC, but I'm not going to say he's very good everywhere. He can do all the things, but he doesn't do any of them incredibly well. He is primarily a grappler. We've seen him striking a little more in his last couple of fights. He's coming off the 2nd round KO loss to Muhammad Naimov where he had wrestling and striking, but just no power or chin. He's taking on John Makdessi. This guy's a volume striker who's got solid takedown defense. John is technical, and he does rely on his pace. He likes to start exchanges with his hands and then end them with low kicks. He's a short, compact guy, so movement is everything for him. And if you can take away his legs, you can have success because then he doesn't have that movement. He is coming off that decision loss to Nasrat, who we just broke down, where he had the volume, but Nasrat was the one shooting the takedowns and then also knocked him down twice. John Makdessi has been fighting forever. You'll see he's 38, but I mean, he has been around since his early 20s. So any UFC fans that were here pre-COVID, you should be familiar with that name, even though he has had some gaps in his schedule. And as you know, I take notes while watching these fights. If I'm able to watch the fights live, I'm just writing my thoughts. I'm like literally writing my thoughts onto the sheet I'm looking at right now. This happened, that happened. Ooh, the striking was actually good, except whatever, right? My notes from Jamie's last fight, literally the only thing I wrote was sucks. That's all I wrote from the last fight. So then I did have to rewatch it because that wasn't very helpful. But the problem with Jamie is while he does have some power in his hands, he's just not dangerous. His volume and takedown attempts, yeah, they're there, but they're not great. His takedowns aren't great, but he's going to stick with them, which is how he has as many takedowns as he does. Makdessi does have good takedown defense, and if he can keep this standing, he's going to be the clear winner. I do think that Jamie's relentless pressure is going to get him probably a close decision, but if you, really, you must hate yourself if you're going to bet Jamie Mullarkey at minus 180. I'm going to pick him, but minus 180, that's on a fully eyebrowed guy that's good at multiple things in fighting. That's not on, bad takedown, sucks, gets knocked out in his last fight in a UFC debut kind of bet. So I'm going to avoid Jamie Mullarkey, and watch him get 100 takedowns. He's at home. He's going to look like the king. But for now, no Jamie Mullarkey bet, though, even though John Makdessi is getting a little older. Then we have what could be fight of the night. We got Jack Jenkins taking on Chepe Mariscal. Jack Jenkins is a solid striker. He's got real power, solid takedown defense. He pressures forward. He backs you up against the cage, and that's where you're going to look for control. Overall, he's a powerful guy with multiple ways to win. People like to highlight his striking, but he has 3 fights in the UFC with 9 total takedowns. He's coming off the win over Jamal Emmers where his striking looked great, but let's not forget, Jamal Emmers, when the fight was over, before they announced the decision, right before the fight's over, you can still live bet. While the fight's happening, Jamal Emmers was a minus 1,700 favorite. So everybody in the world thought Jamal Emmers won that fight. So again, if you didn't watch the tape and you just go to Tapology and you look at the green and red dots, just know that should be a red dot. He should have lost his last fight. He's taking on Chepe Mariscal. Chepe Mariscal is all the things. This guy's resume is incredible. He's got BJJ championships, kickboxing championships, collegiate wrestling experience. And that resume screams grappler, but he does have good striking, and he is willing to engage. He's got a couple of notable losses to UFC standouts, though. He was out-grappled by Bryce Mitchell, respectfully. He was knocked out by Joe Anderson Brito, respectful. He was knocked out by Steve Garcia. That's a little mid. But he is a few years removed from those losses. He has put together 4 wins in a row, including in his short notice UFC debut up a weight class against Trevor Peek just a few months ago where he got his takedowns going. I am surprised that Chepe is a 2-1 underdog here. He has all the wrestling tools, and he showed us he can bang. He can stand there and he can bang. Not only did he out-wrestle his last opponent, he outstruck him too, and he did all of that fighting up a weight class at 155 pounds. On short notice. I do want to pick Chepe here. I bet on him in his last fight. I picked him in his last fight. I want to be here for Chepe, and I want to ride that train. Remember what who's Sean Strickland's partner in crime there in the podcast? I'm forgetting his name. Chris Curtis. Remember Chris Curtis when he just burst onto the scene, all of a sudden knocked out all these almost ranked or currently ranked in the world guys out of nowhere? I want that to be Chepe. I'm so close to betting on him, especially at a dog. But the reality is, I think Jack Jenkins' leg kicks, which are lethal, and he has stopped multiple fights with them, are going to be the difference. I think he's going to light up Chepe's legs, and without his legs, without the movement, he doesn't have the takedown. So I think Jack Jenkins wins this fight. I'm medium confidence level in him. I did parlay him with Nasrat Haqparast. I've got a couple of parlays on this card at different risk levels. All right, I put the risky ones together, the not risky ones together. This way, I don't want to have, if it's gonna break, let it break on both sides. But I got Jack Jenkins and Nasrat in a parlay, and it's plus money. I want Chepe to win. I think Jack Jenkins' leg kicks are going to be far, far too much. If you're going to bet on Chepe, maybe he'll win a round and you can get that plus 3.5 bet. If you don't know what the plus 3.5 bet is, you are buying 3.5 points on the judge's scorecard. So the way that math works out is if the fight ends up being a 29-28 loss or better, you'll get paid. So as long as Chepe wins one round and you bet the plus 3.5 on him, then you'll get paid in your bet. Obviously, if he wins by finish, you'll get paid. If he wins outright, you'll get paid. If he loses a 30-27 or is finished, you lose the bet. You're only going to get that at Bet Online. So if you go to wewantpicks.com/bets, click on the Bet Online link, make an account, make a deposit, and I'll send you $50 as a thank you since they are one of our affiliate partners. Then we have Carlos Ulberg taking on Jung in what should be a striker's delight. Carlos Ulberg is a world-class kickboxer. He has transitioned to MMA. He's a big guy. He's got incredible footwork, great range management. His striking differential is a very impressive 8-ish to 3-ish. And he has both 100% takedown accuracy and defense. Defense a little misleading, though, because he's only had to defend 2 takedowns. But his only MMA loss was a knockout loss to Kennedy Nzechukwu in a fight that he was absolutely dominating, and then he got caught late. He is coming off that first round knockout over Ihor Potieria. He's taking on Jung. This guy's a technical boxer. He's got solid wrestling, nice clinch work. He's very well-rounded, and he can win anywhere. And that win over William Knight a few years ago, he had 8 takedowns and a ton of control time. In his win over Kennedy Nzechukwu, he had fantastic striking, and he got the early knockout. We've seen him basically do everything well in a fight, but he's hit a bit of a skid. He had a 16-fight unbeaten streak. We say unbeaten instead of win. There was a draw in there. 16 fights. The guy didn't lose. And a lot of those were in the UFC. And then he got smoked by Dustin Jacoby. And then Devin Clark just beat him where, Devin had the takedowns and the control time. I do love Carlos Ulberg here. I think in this spot, he's fantastic. He has shown us time and time again his striking is elite. Jung is very good, and Jung may come into this fight like he did in the William Knight fight. Like, I'm diving at legs the entire time. He may do that. He should do that. But even then, I think Carlos Ulberg should get this done. I think he's going to be too good of a striker. His footwork will be too good. And the reality is he knows every single person that's fighting him wants to take him down. So hopefully he's improving at that level. I am confident in Carlos Ulberg. Very, very confident. One of my more confident picks on this card. But again, all of a sudden, we get Nurmagomedov. We could have a weird situation. Then we have Tyson Pedro. Listen, this UFC 293 main card kind of sucks. This is on the main card. The next, we'll break it down. We got Tyson Pedro taking on Anton Turkalj. Tyson Pedro is primarily a grappler, right? He did find some power in the last year or so. He doesn't have the best takedowns, but he has no problem charging forward to get one. If you overcommit on your strikes, he's going to lower his level, shoot a double, and he's going to work through it. Once he hits the ground, he's looking to strike more than he is to submit. But if you scramble, you try to stand up, you try to work out, he's going to snatch something up. He's coming off the decision loss to Makdessi Bukauskas, where he was getting touched up on the feet, and he did gas very hard, but he had a couple of nice, clean takedowns, and he did show off his chin. Taking on Anton Turkalj. This guy's a fun, athletic striker who's going to mix it all up on his feet, and he has no problem taking risks. He has an incredibly diverse striking style where he's going to spin, he's going to kick, he's going to charge forward, and he's really going to mix it all up together well. Not only is his striking fun, but he has aggressive takedowns and offensive BJJ as well. He had 11 takedowns in his Contender Series fight. He had 5 in his fight of the night loss to Vitor Petrino. His pressure is absolutely incredible, and that's what separates him from most people. He fights at a 100% pace, and it doesn't matter if he's striking or grappling. He's young in his career, but he has been training at a high level for multiple years. And I like Anton in this spot. I know Tyson Pedro is good. We literally just watched Anton get out grappled and lose a fight. But we also watched Tyson gas real hard, and Anton's pace could absolutely exhaust Pedro and, let him sort of take over as the fight goes on and win. I like Anton here. I've got a small half a unit bet on him at -103. That's basically even money. He's technically the underdog. So let's hope Anton's pace is going to be too much for Tyson. And I'd have that bet on him, and he is my pick. Then we have the rebooked Justin Tafa versus Austen Lane. This is a rematch. The first fight was a couple of months ago. It lasted less than 30 seconds. Justin Tafa got poked really bad in the eye to the point where he thought he was going to lose his eye. Like, he was very, very worried about it. All is good. No major damage. And now they're just running this fight back. And they said, you know what? Let's take these guys and we're going to slam them into a huge pay-per-view. And I'm being sarcastic. Obviously, as an American watching from my couch, it should be a fun fight, hopefully. Probably going to be a knockout. We'll break it down in a second. But if you're an Australian, you're New Zealand, obviously it matters very much. And if you're in the arena, it is going to be loud for these next couple of fights. So while I joke, is this a pay-per-view caliber fight or is this a featured prelim kind of fight? I don't know. But it should be fun nonetheless. We got Justin Tafa. This guy is a heavyweight striker. Big power. He's got an amazing chin. When he gets his kicks going, he has solid kicks as well. He's got 0 takedowns in the UFC, but he's also never been taken down either. If you swing and bang with Tafa, you're going to have some trouble. But if you take your time, you pot around, you could have some success. Prior to that, eye poke, no contest. So just ignore that fight. It was 30 seconds. He did knock out Parker Porter at UFC 284. He's taking on Austen Lane. This guy's a former NFL player. He started his MMA career about 8 years ago. He's a big guy. He's powerful. He's an athletic guy. And, he's competed at the highest level in multiple sports. He's fast for his size. He likes to jump in with a flurry of strikes and then jump back out. He can grapple as well, using that size, using his athleticism to get you to the ground. In most cases, he seems to prefer to grapple than to strike. He is faster, stronger, and more athletic than 90% of the heavyweight division. We only saw 30 seconds of their previous fight, so there's not much to go off of there, which makes this line a little weird because Tafa in their first fight closed at -225, right? That's what the odds were when that fight started. Now he's -250. So yeah, that's not a ton of movement. That's not really that big of a difference, but nothing changed between then and now more people are like, yeah, Tafa. Nothing changed. In fact, some people were saying Austen was winning that fight, which is an absurd comment to make, considering it only lasted 30 seconds. I think 5 strikes were landed or something insane, but same breakdown as last time. I think Tafa's power is going to be too big. I think his big fat ass legs and hips are going to be too hard to get to the ground. So Tafa's going to defend a couple of sloppy takedown attempts and then knock out Austen Lane. I think that's what's going to happen. Austen has to fight a perfect fight to win. He's got to dance around. Jab, jab, jab. Same way Jared Vandera did it. That is the only way Austen Lane can win this fight, and I just don't see that happening. So Justin Tafa is the pick, and honestly, the odds are probably correct, even though it is a heavyweight fight. I'm curious to see where this one ends up versus where the last one ended up at -225. Then we have the featured fight of the evening. We have Manel Kape taking on Felipe Dos Santos. Manel Kape is a fast, explosive striker who has no issues chasing knockouts. He is a southpaw. He's got good pressure. He bounces in and out of range really well. He's a decent wrestler when he needs to be, and he closes distance well when he wants to. He's very fun to watch, but at times he can have a little too much fun, and I don't want to say make mistakes, but he'll do things he doesn't really need to be doing in the moment. He's coming off the decision win over David Dvorak, where even though he was taken down twice, he landed more strikes and had a knockdown. He's taking on Felipe Dos Santos. This guy's a shoot-a-box fighter through and through. He's aggressive, he's dangerous, he's good everywhere, and he's got dyed hair. I mean, he looks like every other and fights like every other shoot-a-box guy on the planet, so much so that he's also hittable. All of those guys are very dangerous. They all pressure forward, they throw everything with intent, and they all get hit. They all get countered really well. He's no different. He can be taken down. He can be countered. He's a little reckless with his striking, but he is very dangerous. He's capable on the ground, and he does have takedowns, but they're not great. He'll slow as the fight goes on as well. He's going to take chances. It doesn't always work out, but when it does, it does. Felipe is insanely dangerous here, right? He has a very clear path to victory, but this should be Manel Kape all day. Kape should be able to control the range, the pace, and have the far more technical striking. Felipe's forward pressure will make him hittable, but, to win, he's really got to like walk through all of Manel's shots and just get in his face, potentially working a takedown. I don't see that happening. I like Manel to win. I do think he's probably safe to parlay. Then we have the co-main event of the evening. Again, like this is going to be a really fun fight. The place is going to go wild when Tai Tuivasa comes out. This guy's a massive fan favorite, but the co-main event of a $90 pay-per-view on top of my $10, well, I have Verizon, so it's free, but on top of a $10 ESPN Plus subscription, like it's not a great card. It's going to be fun, but this is not like, I doubt, Saturday I'm going to wake up excited because I do for the fights. I got people coming, all the thing, but I'm not going to be like, yes, tonight we have these fights. So anyway, we got Tai Tuivasa. Oh, I'm not disparaging. I mean, Tai Tuivasa, this guy's awesome. And he's taking on Alexander Volkov. Tai Tuivasa, this guy, similar to Justin Tafa, is a heavy-handed striker. He's got solid volume and great low kicks. He's also fast and powerful for his size. He's sharp and he's composed. Tuivasa has fantastic leg kicks, a piercing jab, a big overhand. His takedown defense is just okay, though. He's got 0 offensive takedowns in the UFC as well. You could argue that Tuivasa's biggest asset was always his chin and his power. He does have a cement head, but we've seen some cracks lately. He was cracked a few times before ever being knocked out, and Gon stopped him, but not because he blasted him in the head. And then now he just got straight up knocked out by Sergey Pavlovich. He's taking on Alexander Volkov. This guy's a top 10 heavyweight. He has been a top 10 heavyweight for more than 7 years. He's a very good striker, a high IQ fighter. He's fast. He's got volume. He picks his shots really well, and he adapts in his fights. He's not a big power guy. He's not going to come out just boom, throw big punches. But his volume and timing do suit him well enough to get finishes. He's a very durable guy who has fought the literal best of the division since his debut in UFC in 2016. He's coming off back-to-back knockout wins, the most recent which over a fat, slow, desperate Alexander Romanov. We all love Tai Tuivasa. Who doesn't? I would love to know in the comments, like, I hate that guy. We all love Tai Tuivasa, and I'm positive he will be the community's underdog lock of the week. Every time he fights, no matter what the odds are, the general community, everybody rallies behind one underdog. Last week, people picked Bogdan. This week, it's going to be Tai Tuivasa. I'm positive it's going to be Tai Tuivasa. And the reality is, though, he's not the better fighter in this matchup. Volkov's going to be more well-rounded, more technical, but not the more dangerous guy. We all know Tuivasa has that big one-punch knockout power. We all know Volkov has been knocked out. Famously, Derek Lewis knocked him out with 1 minute left after losing the entire fight. And I've got to go Volkov here, but I imagine the rest of the community and myself are also going to be rooting for Tai Tuivasa to get a one-punch knockout walk-off. I don't see it happening. I am so much so that I've got a heavyweight parlay. I've got Volkov and Tafa in only a half a unit parlay because they are heavyweights. But we got plus money on it, and they should both win. Then we have the main event of the evening. Again, like, do we think Sean Strickland should be fighting for a title? Has he earned it? No, of course not. But should it be fun? Yeah. The press conferences have been good. Everything about it should be fun. Sean Strickland's a tough guy. This isn't going to be over in 10 seconds. So it should be a fun fight, but this isn't like, I can't wait to see if Izzy can defend. I think we all were much more excited versus him versus Alex Pereira 1 and 2, or 3 and 4, depending on how you do your math. Anyway, we got Israel Adesanya taking on Sean Strickland. Israel Adesanya, how much of a breakdown does this guy need, right? Everybody knows who he is. He's obviously an amazing kickboxer. He just came off his 4th fight with Alex Pereira. He times his strikes really well. He's a great counter striker. He's got a pretty good chin. He's literally going to roll his shoulders, bob his head, while his opponents are just throwing a ton of punches. Almost nothing lands. His defense is absolutely incredible. It says 57% here and 62% for Sean Strickland. Keep in mind the level of competition and who they've been fighting and for how long they've been fighting. His takedown defense is a solid 77%, and he averages an amazing 0.06 takedowns per 15 minutes. He's taking on Sean Strickland. There's nothing spectacular about the guy. He's a blue-collar striker. He somehow weaseled his way into this title shot, but he's going to walk forward, throw a ton of punches. He's not particularly powerful or particularly fast, but he's got volume at almost 6 significant strikes per minute. He's got fantastic takedown defense at 84%. He's incredibly tough, and he's not a guy you're going to get out of there. He's coming off his first finish in 3 years where he absolutely dismantled dismantled Abus Magomedov in a fight that a lot of people, myself included, thought he was going to lose. This is Izzy all day. Like, I'm not going to pretend and then do like the Gordon Ramsay reveal. But he's a 650 favorite, and it should honestly be wider than that. This is striker versus striker, and we all love Sean Strickland's interviews, his social media antics, but he's a blue-collar guy who is just tough and throws with volume. Izzy is an elite striker who also has power. He's got the technique. He's got high-level experience. I don't know if Izzy stops Strickland, but I'm positive this is going to be a one-sided win for him. If the minus 650 is a little too rich for your blood, you can do, remember the bet I mentioned earlier where you buy points on the judges' scorecard? You can sell points as well. You can do Israel Adesanya minus 5.5 points because it's a 5-round fight. And the way that math works out is as long as Izzy wins 4 rounds on all 3 judges and then one, something like that, then you're good. You're good. You hit the bet. You're going to get better odds than the minus 650. It's probably going to be, I don't know, I'm estimating here, maybe minus 3 something, 2 something, which is much, much better value. And if you think it's a one-sided win, if you think he finishes, that's a great bet. You don't have to leap all the way into how he's going to win. You just know he's going to win and it's going to be dominant. So Izzy's the pick. I'll be looking for that bet. If you're not a premium member, become one. If you are a premium member, link your account so you get the alert when that bet drops and when we place it. Just one last little piece of context on Izzy here. Can we all agree it's a little bullshit that he's not fighting Alex Pereira again? So he lost to him in kickboxing, lost to him in MMA. 2 of those losses were stoppages. Then he's losing the first round, wins in the second round. He's like, oh, well, we're done. I won. We're done. We're not running it back. We're done. Done. I win. We're done. I mean, that's absurd. You guys have fought 4 times. You lost 3 of them. And maybe Alex Pereira didn't want to do it again. He's just like, I'm done with middleweight. But it's kind of nuts that Izzy was like, we're done. We put this to an end. It's like, well, dude, you're 1-3 versus the guy. Relax. He took his ball and he went home is what happened. Guys, take your $10 and go to WeWantPicks.com and sign up. And after you do that, go to WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of our betting partners using our link, and I'll send you $50 as a thank you. It's WeWantPicks.com/bets. Use the link, sign up, make a deposit. I will get paid because it's an affiliate link, and then I'm going to take $50 of that money, and I'm going to give it right back to you. You can use that money to become a premium member. Premium membership is far more. I can't emphasize that enough. It is far more than some bets. It's not, you're going to see people out here buy my Patreon. You know what a Patreon is? It's like a Facebook feed. It's just posts of random shit. And it's like, here's my 3 bets for the week that I give out free anyway, which nobody knows how to make money in this space. Makes no sense. That's all it is. Us, you're getting everything, including courses. One of the number 1 questions we get every week is somehow related to what's DraftKings Fantasy. What are those numbers? What does the ownership mean? Go to become a premium member, click more, and then courses. You're going to see the DraftKings Beginner's Guide. It's going to walk you through exactly what it is, how it works, how much you should be spending, how you can build a lineup. I promise you, it's like fantasy football, but for MMA, it is a ton of fun. Even if you're just doing free entries with your friends or a couple dollars here and there, it is fun. Because all of a sudden, you're rooting for fighters you never cared about before. So if you're a premium member, but if you're not, become one. If you are, click on more and then courses. Premium membership is also going to get you tools like the line movement tracker. It's going to get you detailed data, metrics, and analytics that will help you find your spots or avoid spots that you might have been leaning to one way or the other. You're also going to get more than just me and Pretty Boy Jake. You're going to get Running Mouth MMA. We just brought them in. They've got fantastic bets, fantastic insight. If you use their promo code, they get paid. We've also got Artem breaking down far more than just UFC. You're going to get PFL, Bellator, and all the regional bets and picks. And then we've also got the Pick Doctor. This guy is developing an AI to pick fights. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It is only $10 a month.